should be live in any moment. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this live channeling session. Just a second, you'll see the first YouTube comment, which contains a link. The link will take you to the Zoom room. And then there's another link that'll take you to my website. On my website, you can sign up for the email list, and every week I send the link here for this live stream channeling session. And if you go to the contact page, you can see donation links if you feel like supporting this free offering that I do entirely for free each week. It's a great help, and all of it's there. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Wow, we've got quite some people already in the Zoom room. Thanks everybody for joining from the beginning of the session today. Really appreciate seeing everybody here. I'm Dante Starshine. I channel the Pleiadian Council. I'm channeling for about 5 years. 6, I don't know. Anyway, they are an interdimensional consciousness supporting our planet in this ascension process and supporting everyone who would like to ask questions and do sessions with them and evolving. Anyone can tap into their own extraterrestrial counterparts and guides, whether they're Pleiadians, Arcturians, Sirians, hybrid beings. So here we talk all about that, and also all about enacting this formula of following your highest passion to the best of your ability without insisting on an outcome, because it is this frequency of love from the heart that supports us in awakening and rippling this new consciousness out into the planet. And right now we are going to be doing a series of channeling sessions every week that will go into creating another book, because the first book went so beautifully that I realized another one can come through just as easily, and maybe even a smaller one, one that's more easily to digest. Because as you see, the guidebook to Living Love on Earth is a thick book that's almost 400 pages long. And this was composed over 38 hours of channeling sessions in a small group of people who have been intimately following this work. So you can download this on Amazon, or you can buy the hard copy. You can just search the guidebooks to Living Love on Earth, but there's a tiny URL link that will take you there faster. And that is tinyurl.com/starshinebook. So I'm sure most people are familiar with how it works here. The idea is that you keep it muted when you are not speaking so that there's no background noise, and that you give everybody the chance to ask questions. And there's a new rule that I am starting with this week, and it's 1 round of questions per person. So you don't just come back with more questions, because I want to experiment with this new format. I think it'll help things get a lot more clear. So you have up to 8 minutes for your question. And after 8 minutes, you're done. That's it. So make it worth it, make it count. From now on, for these next sessions, everything that is asked is you're giving permission for that to be transcribed and put into the next book for these next 10 transmissions only. And then it'll be, obviously all of this is public on YouTube. So I'm just putting that out there from the start so everybody knows. And yeah.
I think the last about 10 words couldn't be heard. I don't know if it was just for me or for everyone.
Could y'all hear that?
I heard everything clearly, so.
Okay.
So it was just for me. Okay, thank you.
Well, whatever I said, I think was, yeah, everything that is going to be asked today, you're giving permission and consent for that to be transcribed and put into a book. It's not necessarily true that it will be put in the book. It's only the very best questions that are going to go there. But I just wanted to put that out there for everybody so that you know. And again, I'm available for private sessions as well. And I also teach people how to channel. So if you're feeling a connection emerging within you through listening to these sessions, I do private and small group channeling course. The channeling course in a group happens about once a year, maybe twice, but I'm always enrolling people for one-to-one learning to channel. So all of that is on dantestarshine.com, and as well as ways to support through donation. So I really appreciate everybody for helping me in continuing to grow this work. And again, the guidebook is here if you want to really dive deep into what the Pleiadians share. I think that's everything. Is there anything else I need to say before I dive in that somebody can remind me of? Does somebody want to be the... Does somebody want to be the host to control the muting of people?
I can help you, Dante.
Great, thank you. And Josh, I just sent to your account a couple questions that somebody wrote in advance. Messenger. Okay. So, okay, making Carol host. All right, everybody. So hope you enjoyed the transmission today, and I'll see you on the flip side. Hello, and we say a good day to each and every one of you at this moment of your time. As the Pleiadian Council, we speak on behalf of the Galactic Alliance in support of your planet's ascension process. So, our great thanks to all of you for allowing us to meet you in this way, for it opens up a reflective mirror so that you and ourselves together can grow and come into a clearer connection with all that is and with Source. Today, we begin a transmission of a series of ideas that will compose another book. This book is all about the individual's healing process and the process of accelerating one's frequency. In our last book, we spoke much on many different metaphysical matters and how they play out in your world. And now we're taking a different angle. We are beginning today with a deep dive into passion. As so many of you who follow this work understand, the core of this message is this formula that is to act on your highest passion, excitement, love, bliss, or joy, however you wish to describe that, to the best of your ability without insisting on a particular outcome. And many of you get hung up on this, and we want to support you in noticing all of the layers of nuance that goes into this particular formula. Starting with this idea of enacting your passion. What does it mean to enact your passion? It begins with bringing your focus deep into your own heart center. Your heart center is the place where you receive energy and information from your own higher self, higher mind. This energy comes to you as a feeling first. As you receive that feeling in your heart, it can travel through the rest of your body and manifest as sensations, as images, as ideas. Being attuned to your heart and attuned to this higher frequency is the first foundation for allowing all of the other processes of accelerating your energy to take place. It is not simply that you tap into this higher energy, it's that you bring that energy to support you in taking an action. So sometimes many people get trapped thinking about things that excite them without taking the steps. And we want to make it very clear that action is the language of physical reality. So if you want to see results, and if you want to see your energy truly raise, you have to bring yourself to focus on practical steps, actions, and activities that help you enter into this frequency of love. We describe this inspired action with a variety of words, because the truth is that there are so many different ways that love manifests for you in your world. And in every moment, you will be guided to focus on one particular aspect of this love frequency. Remember that unconditional love is the fabric of this very reality. And so by enacting your passion, you are getting in touch with this higher level of reality. And you're getting in touch with the source's intention for this particular universe in manifestation. So we describe this love frequency with the words passion, with the word excitement, with the term joy, bliss, even ecstasy could be an appropriate word. All of these frequencies are very similar. When you translate it to many different languages in your world, you'll find vast differences. And so we use all of the words to help you get in touch with the feeling itself. Beyond all of these words, this passion frequency we're speaking about will create a palpable expansion in your heart. You'll feel that your heart starts to beat faster. You'll feel that there is a tingling, a warmth, an expansion that moves from your chest through your body. You may simultaneously feel a inner resistance that manifests. You can feel that your heart starts to accelerate and to expand, but then there's some sort of a container or a tightness that this energy of passion is pushing against and helping to, in a sense, stretch open an energetic muscle that is there in the center of your heart. This energetic muscle expands every time you reach a higher frequency energy. And the more time you spend in that higher frequency energy, the more you will naturally return to that state effortlessly. So all of these different terms, yes. Passion. You feel passion when you're so enthused, energized, and you feel uncontrollable urges to do a certain thing. Excitement is very similar. Excitement is an energy that fills you with life force, that fills you with a focus and an optimism, an exuberance. Joy is another term. Joy is connected with happiness, ease, bliss. You'll find that this love frequency contains all of these energies in different proportions at different times. So get to know all of them. Now, one of the biggest challenges for you with this idea of passion is that you think that you have to figure out your biggest passion. You think that when we say act on your passion, it means find your life purpose. And what we're saying is actually that passion is your life purpose. And so that means every little thing you're passionate about is a part of your bigger purpose. We're not saying you have to immediately bring all of your focus into this big long-term vision of what you're doing with your life. Passion plays out most palpably in the present moment. So this means in every single moment, you attune yourself to your heart center and you become aware of all of the different pathways or timelines that are present before you. As you mentally navigate from one potential timeline to another, you bring your awareness into your heart and you pay attention to which of those pathways generates that greatest feeling of passion and energy expanding in your own heart. As you do this, you choose to act on the one that brings you the highest passion. You can't just be aware of it, you have to act. And that's another hang up that sometimes happens, is that people start to doubt, is this really my passion? They feel the energy, but they get so focused on the energy that they forget they have to act. So when you take that action and start to move forward in that energy of passion, that is when the magic really truly happens. So this means, yes, whenever you have free time and you're imagining, do I go out and take a walk in the park? Do I call up a good friend? Do I open a book and read about this information? Do I turn on a film about this exciting new idea I'm exploring? Do I begin a creative project? Open your mind to all of them, and instead of thinking of the results, think about what you want now. Passion can only be real in the here and now. So you may be very desiring of having certain outcomes, certain abundance, certain recognition, and so on and so forth, many of the things that you seek in your world. Though when it comes to this formula and it comes to expanding your energy and experiencing higher states of consciousness, you need to prioritize what brings the best feeling right here and now, and sort of detach deeply from the idea of what is going to result from it. Bring yourself into the doing and the experiencing in the now. This will change everything in your life because you will stop living in the future and you will stop living in uncertainty and doubt, and you will start doing things simply because they bring you joy. As you do this more of the time, you will develop the ability to say no to things that are not representative of your highest passion. You will be able to say no when others are asking you to do things that bring you out of alignment with your heart. You will be able to look at all of the different activities and possibilities and know which ones are actually the most important. So this leads to the next most important part about understanding enacting passion. And that is to make sure that you're really choosing the highest passion, not just any old passion. Some of you continue to choose things that you have a bit of passion about, yet that highest passion you fear or avoid. The highest passion sometimes brings up fear or resistance. And usually it's because all of you are, in a deep way, always exploring, or inclined to explore rather, what is new, what is novel, what have you never experienced before. At the same time, your conditioning has it so that you've learned so many fear-based beliefs about the potential unsafety and risk in trying something new. So in order for this formula to really work, you have to be honest about which actions are truly a higher passion than any other action. Which actions light up your heart to a higher degree than any other. And this is a moment where you might feel, yes, some discomfort in the sensation in your heart area. Fear-based beliefs tend to create tension in the heart. They create a sort of net or seatbelt effect where something is pulling your heart backwards or inwards. Yet passion is an energy that will always bring you forwards and outwards. So there comes to be often this sort of battle between those fear-based beliefs and your true passion. And you have to learn how to trust that your passion will break through that stagnating energy of the negative beliefs and allow you to move forward if you just make the choice to enact what your highest passion really is. So some examples of this are that you may be really excited about one project that you're engaging in, but a family member or a partner is asking you to do something else. And in that moment, you're caught between these two pathways. And out of fear, you choose to do what you are pressured into doing by others. When you do this, you're not enacting the formula and your energy will lower. It may seem like you are helping the other person, but if helping the other person means lowering your frequency, it isn't the highest expression of help. It doesn't bring the clearest results because you bring about a lower frequency version of yourself rather than the highest potential frequency version of yourself that you conjure in the now when you choose to enact your passion. There are some moments in which compassionately supporting others will be your highest passion. So it isn't to say that you shouldn't help others and you should be only focused on what you want. When you want to help and support, that is actually something that is incredibly powerful in helping your own heart expand. But what we're saying is that you need to learn as to when your giving and your supporting of others is truly coming from an authentic place. When is it actually your highest passion to give? And when is it an expression of a distorted fear-based belief to sacrifice your true highest passion in order to help others? When you make this distinction, you will find much greater momentum and flow in your life. Now, a deeper aspect of this is to be aware of how to bring passion into what you do. So in this example of, say you decide out of all the possibilities you want to take a walk in the park. How you take a walk in that park is also important. Are you most excited about listening to music while you walk? What music lifts your frequency up the very most in that moment? Would you prefer to listen to the music in headphones or would you prefer to play it aloud? Would you prefer to run through the park? Would you prefer to skip in the park or gallop? Perhaps you really want to skip, but there's a fear-based belief within you saying that people will judge you for that, or that it is not appropriate to act that way, that for you to play your music too loud would disturb the flow of others. So to enact your highest passion means to get deeply in touch with the very specific way you want to do the thing you're about to do, and to give yourself permission to do it that way. This can also happen in your co-creations with other people. You might conceive of one method, one way of doing things, but you might be a bit shy to express it. Recognize others can say no, but for you to hold back your idea of a new approach, a new way of doing things, a new way of enacting your particular passion in that moment, is to choose to let your frequency stay at a lower level than it could be at. So get very attuned to the how. And going deeper into this idea of how, You may notice that there are particular ways of holding your energy through your day that increase this energy of excitement and passion. So some examples of this are making sure that you breathe as deeply and consciously as you can throughout the day. This is something that will expand your passion. Many of you will find you're passionate about. Another sort of permission slip is to use a mantra or a visualization throughout the day, some sort of permission slip and mental focus that allows you to stay in the highest frequency. That is another example of how you enact your passion. Another one is to make sure that you have aligned posture, that you're holding your body in a way that is conducive to emotional well-being. And there are so many more examples to, yes, speak your truth, but speak it clearly, loudly, with confidence, to speak from a deep place within you. That is another way of enacting your passion even clearer, even more fully. So we hope this clarifies this theme of enacting your passion. And let's summarize this again. First of all, it's very important that you get in touch with what your passion is, and that you're in touch with all of the aspects of that high frequency of unconditional love. The idea of passion, excitement, joy, bliss, ecstasy, love. Then it's very important that you act on it. You don't just sit there and think about it, and you don't waste time hesitating, but as soon as you feel the inspiration, you move. The next most important part is that you really are truly sure that you're choosing your absolute highest passion and not a lower passion, and that you are making sure that your actions are truly and completely authentic, not being manipulated by negative beliefs or by other people. And finally, it is how you do it, the specific energies you bring into it, the way that you hold yourself in your body and in your mind as you do it, to truly get as deep as you can into your preferred state of being enacting your passion. These are the keys in truly applying this part of the formula. And in the next transmission and chapter, we will explore the next part of the formula, that is proceeding to the best of your ability. And we'll thoroughly explain all of the ways that you can do things to the very best of your own ability. So we thank you for allowing this transmission today. And now, in return, we would like to support you with any questions, comments, and sharings that you have. We will do our best to reflect to you the higher truth that exists within you, the level of your higher self here and now.
Well, we have two questions that were submitted prior.
All right.
The first question is, I have two questions relevant to the topic for the for book 2, chapter 1, following your passion. One, I know your advice works because I have a much better life now. However, sometimes it is really super amazing. What is it that boosts the results even more sometimes?
What is it that boosts the results even more? That's different for everyone. In the case of this questioner, we would say it is the degree of surrender. When you enact your passion, and now you are learning more deeply to surrender and let go of your attachments to the outcomes and appreciate the awe and wonder of your life, you go even deeper into this frequency of passion. So continue to surrender, continue to let go, continue to trust that everyone is exactly where they need to be in their own process and in their own journey.
Thank you. And the other question is, several attempts to share the new truths have backfired on me as people focus instead on irrelevant details such as their ideas about ETs, their ideas about appearances and success and so on. Is that just me losing my connection to my own heart, or is there something in the world around me?
you may be sharing these ideas with people who have very many fear-based beliefs and preconceived notions about things. So as we have said before, you may want to attune to the person you're sharing with more. To attune to somebody, one powerful thing to do is imagine that you're inside of their body. What does it feel like to be inside their body? What does it feel like to look at the world through their eyes? What kinds of experiences have they had? What kind of beliefs are operating in their system? And as you get a sense of this, feel emotionally what it feels like to be that person, and imagine what that person thinks of this and that sort of idea and this and that sort of person and experience. As you attune to the person more, you'll get a sense of, is this person really ready for this information? And if they're not, you can explain perhaps other details. You can talk about the formula, and you can talk about how following the formula and enacting your passion without insisting on outcomes has changed your life. You don't necessarily need to focus with that person on the sense that this idea came to you from extraterrestrials or from this channel, but you can share your personal experience of how those ideas have helped you transform your life and how many other things that you've learned through channeling have transformed your life. You don't even have to call it channeling. Remember, there's other words for all of this. Channeling can also be described as inspiration or epiphany to people who don't understand or connect with the idea of bringing in energies from higher dimensions.
Awesome. Thank you. And there is a question in the chat by Lucas Taylor. How do we approach a situation where we are truly passionate about a long-term goal and less passionate about doing something we feel is needed to achieve it?
Well, you have to recognize that the little activity that you have resistance to is part of the long-term goal. So as you approach that activity, think about the long-term goal and see it in that sense. Recognize that time is an illusion and that the act of surrendering the present now to the process of becoming a representative embodiment of your long-term goal means that you have to enact this action in the moment. There are ways that you can increase the how of how to bring more passion into the moment. Perhaps for you, that would be visualizing your outcome in the process. It would be focusing on how enthusiastic you'll be about the project when you've gotten through some of those necessary but cumbersome and undesirable foundational steps in the process.
Awesome. I'll leave it open to the Zoom room before the YouTube questions afterward.
Sorry, I just want to say, Dante, you were getting a lot of feedback on your microphone.
There are just some knocks, probably, and not necessarily feedback. Probably the beard touches the mic.
Yes, the microphone was touching some crystals on the channel's neck, but it's probably all right now. Do let us know if it gets bad again.
So, greetings, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, yes.
My first question is, if two persons are having the same intent and the same dream, will it manifest faster, and by how much, approximately, Billy?
Well, the having of the dream is not all that relevant. They need to enact their passion in relation to the dream and follow all the steps of the formula, doing it to the best of their ability without insistence on an outcome. And how much it affects it is totally variable. It really depends on how many negative beliefs both individuals have in the way and how many other obstacles their own higher self has set up for them, has arranged for them in order to learn the lessons in that process. So there is no definitive answer to this question.
Perfect. Thank you. I understand. And I was wondering, what is the difference between a person that is able to instantly manifest, let's say a 5D being like, yes, a Sunny, and a person that knows how to manifest and it's only able to manifest slowly, besides the relevance of their life themes, let's say in energetic terms or in whatever other terms you may want to clarify that for me, if you're able to, please.
What is the difference between someone who manifests like the Essassani?
Yeah, who is able to manifest instantly.
Well, somebody who manifests instantly is vibrating at a very high level. They're reaching that threshold between physical and quasi-physical expressions of reality. They are so connected with their inner desires that as soon as they feel a welling within them for something or something, someone or something, they move in that direction. They don't have doubt. Those who manifest instantly don't have doubt, and that is the biggest difference. Those who manifest slowly have many negative beliefs that manifest as doubts. They can be doubting whether or not they really want the thing they want. They may be doubting their own sense of self for wanting the thing they want. They may be doubting if they deserve it or if they're capable of experiencing it. And so all of these doubts create a much slower process. And in order to actually manifest, they have to psychologically deconstruct all of the beliefs that are generating that energy of doubt.
Mm-hmm. And doesn't the expectation or the insistence would play a role in this? If you have too much belief in something that you're able to manifest, wouldn't you get into the territory of insistence or expectation?
No, you cannot believe too much in anything. If you have a positive belief, it cannot be stretched too far. The insistence is very different than expectation. Insistence is not being okay if your expectation isn't met. And many people get expectation and insistence very confused. So in the transmission coming in a couple of weeks, we'll dive very deep into this. Expectation is important. You need to be excited about what you want to create, and you need to feel desire, and you need to feel deserving, and you need to expect for it to come and intend that it does, and intend to do everything you possibly can to make it come. The insistence is different. Insistence is not being okay and accepting of the possibility of it not happening. And when you can expect something, but simultaneously be indifferent to the possibility of everything failing, you set yourself up at a very high frequency with smooth, effortless flow.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. And I was wondering, Bashar said, Bashar, the ET ambassador, for who doesn't know, for whoever doesn't know about him, he was saying that we can use the Schumann resonance in a tomograph machine, and that tomograph machine can beam the Schumann resonance into the body of a human and thus heal any possible disease. And I was wondering if the same thing is possible by using a Rife machine, if you know.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Will it have the same effect?
It wouldn't be the same, but it would be similar.
Yeah, similarly powerful to heal any disease?
Yes. If that permission slip aligns with the belief systems of the person engaging in it.
Thank you very much. And you also said about detoxification protocol for activated charcoal with activated charcoal, and you haven't specified the quantities. And I was wondering about the quantities, if you are please able to suggest.
1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon per day, or?
Yes.
And before meals or after meals?
After.
After meals, immediately after, or at
Several hours after.
I see. Perfect. And probably a last question. I have my timer, 8-minute timer on. I was wondering if you guys, you know, we have the Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, the longest distance probes that humanity has launched into space, and they have a problem. They have an energy problem. Their radioactive rocks are going into a down level, so they have no more energy. And I was wondering if I could ask you to change those rocks. Is it possible for you to do that?
No, we don't have the ability or the permission to interfere in that way.
Ah, you don't. Okay. Okay, I still have 45 seconds. Was wondering the same thing for NAC, N-acetylcysteine, the same detoxification protocol. You also suggested it. Could you recommend some dosages for it?
1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon, and when?
Yes.
And when?
First thing in the morning.
1 teaspoon. And for how
First
many
thing in the
days?
morning.
For how many days?
No more than 3 weeks.
No more than 3 weeks. And how many
Without
days
a break.
with the activated charcoal?
Same, about 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay. Thank you very much. That would be all.
Thanks to you.
All the best. My love too. Thank you.
And our unconditional love to you as well.
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, welcome.
Welcome. I appreciate this. So I would like to start off by telling you a little something. I had an interaction with a Pleiadian woman, which I recognize as my guide. Things got increasingly, I don't know if she was like in between physical and not, but what happened was, I don't know if I was on Earth or if I was on her home planet. We ended up being on the ground. Things got hot and heavy. She doesn't actually, the thing it was really weird because they don't have, obviously, you know that, they don't have private parts, right? They have no organs there. But it was all telepathically, the emotions, she didn't say one word, everything was telepathically. Then she showed me babies in a tube, and there was like 50 or 100 of them. And they were like fetuses, I can see that, but they looked like they were like six years old because they're really tall, right? But I also got her name, and we've been merging. Her name is Shoshana. But I haven't seen her since then, and I kind of feel, and I don't really want to say abandoned, but I feel kind of hurt because I don't, like, I know we're emerging, but I don't, like, I haven't seen her since then, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, or is there something I can do to increase that connection or see her again?
Have you been continuing to meditate?
Every single day I do.
Yes. And you haven't had any other sort of connection with her or a similar being?
I've been seeing orbs and stuff. I mean, I used to see a lot of extraterrestrial last year, but it stopped with the last 3 months. But it all stopped as soon as like something happened with me and her, and then I stopped seeing her, and then everything stopped. But I see things every now and then, but not her or an extraterrestrial, just the orbs and stuff.
When you met her, did it surprise you in some way?
Yes, I was meditating underneath the tree. She was trying to talk to me. And at the time, I kind of peeked because I had to make sure there was no one else around me. But it almost sounded like an old radio that was trying to tune in. So she was trying to have conversations with me. Then it stopped. A couple months later, she came into my meditation. She showed me, she was sitting in a chair. She showed me what she looked like. She didn't say one word to me. And then a couple months later, we had an experience. And
Yes.
and then from there, I haven't seen her since then. But then I've talked to another channeler. His name is Ryo, and I got her name Shoshana, and he was talking about her stepping up and emerging with me. But since then, I haven't heard anything, and I'm just, you know, I had this experience with her with so much love and so much passion, and this connection I can't even explain. And then it disappears. And it's just like I'm looking for that again, like just even to talk to her, or even just to have, you know, anything.
All right. Well, she is just as much here and now with you as she's always been. And know that these beings who come from different times and spaces don't experience the gap between your encounters in the same way that you do. So
Right.
one thing to do is to release some degrees of insistence as to how and to what degree you'll meet her again. You can ask her to show up in more subtle ways, in ways that might be a little bit different, a little bit less intense. Sometimes when you have very intense experience of meeting guides, it creates strong insistence, or it triggers a certain resistance to a deeper connection. Oftentimes people will meet their guides and they will start to fear what might happen if they surrender completely to that connection, or paradoxically, they might start to crave the connection so much and put too much pressure on the connection to happen. So what's important is to relax into the now moment and recognize that with or without her, you are a complete and sovereign being. Recognize that guides do not complete you. They are simply an expansion of your own soul family and connection. So as you trust in your own divinity and your own higher self more, and recognize that that connection is enough for you to get everything you need, and the guide is in a sense the icing on top of the cake, you can appreciate the subtle ways that this being connects and ease into a more gradual connection rather than a very sudden one. And sometimes those sudden connections are like peaks that show you where you're going, but they can trigger some process of resistance that slow down the process.
Interesting. Okay. Now I got a question. Now, before I had my interactions with her, my highest passion is to vocal channel. I am a psychic medium, but like, I really don't like to put like names on stuff like that, but just to narrow it down. And I've been doing that for a little while here. But ever since I've been wanting to vocal channel, I've been seeing nothing but extraterrestrials. I had this encounter. I get light symbols where I actually got the light symbol with the circle with a horizontal line going through it. And I found out it was about vocal channeling and all this other stuff. I don't remember exactly. I have to look it up. I wrote it down, but I was very intrigued by this. So I was wondering, would she be the first person I vocal channel? Would she be someone that I would?
Oh, yeah, she's very open to that.
Okay, how would I go about that? And I would love to know your first name so I can actually talk to. I'm trying to put the.
We don't have a first name.
No. Okay.
No, we don't have names in our
vibration.
world. And yes, we are beings of vibration, and many guides that you meet don't have names in their world. We call them ourselves Pleiadian Council because it is a very easy way for you to understand where we come from and the fact that we counsel you and we represent more than one being. Now, the other names that come through are, in a sense, permission slips. They are tools that help you access the frequency, but in the world these beings inhabit, they don't go by the same name.
Okay.
Now, to vocal channel, you need to learn how to, first of all, establish that connection with your own higher self. So we encourage you to visualize that clear channel of light between your own heart and the galactic center, and between this chakra you know as the soul star chakra above your head. Visualize energy coming from the galactic center and from the particular star system from which your being originates, and see this energy focalize itself in the top of this soul star chakra. Visualize that area above your head filling with brilliant light like it is the sun above your body. invite that light to start to trickle down into your body like a shower of light. Feel that energy in your crown chakra and visualize it moving to the back of your throat, the back of your neck, and also the front of your throat. Feel it coming to your throat chakra, which includes your ears, and focus all of your energy here. Listen very closely to hear the voice of the guide. It may sound very similar to your own voice, but if it is accompanied by an influx of subtle energy, you can trust that it is coming from the guide. So once you feel that energy coming in and you hear the voice, speak the voice aloud, word by word. It might happen at first that you get one word followed by the next word only after you speak the first word. If you can do this word by word, eventually you will get into a flow where automatically all of the words simply flow through your mouth. It is a process. It is an attunement process that takes some time, though we do trust you're capable of.
Oh, thank you very much. I do hear them sometimes, but they're very small with their words. But yeah, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
So it's much like if you are fishing, once you get the bite, you have to start to reel it in. So once you speak the word, you start reeling it in, and then the next word gets it closer and closer and closer. And once you get all of those words out, you'll find that they simply flow. So do trust the process, yes?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Canadian Pleiadian Council.
Oh, thanks to you as well.
Well, I have some questions from the YouTube.
All right.
The first question from Latrim Lover. What is your opinion on taking 5-MeO DMT from the Bufo alvarius toad for spiritual development?
Oh, this is a wonderful permission slip for those who are called to it. It can support in going into vastly altered states of consciousness. It can connect you beyond the fifth dimension into states of emptiness and void, where source consciousness can express through you. By being able to go into these states in which you lose your sense of your physical self and experience only your non-physical self, your essence, it strips away many of the negative beliefs and perceptions that you've accumulated in this physical reality. You can start to know that that non-physical essence of bliss is much more intrinsic to who you are than all of the mind stuff that you've picked up through this incarnation. This medicine is very helpful in discarding those negative beliefs. It can be a very powerful tool for emotional purge of negative beliefs. You can intend to go into the space to really release and let go. We do say that you don't need to use it all that often. We wouldn't encourage use of it more than 3 or 4 times a year. It is not something to take lightly, though it is something to enjoy the lightness of. We do wish to encourage everyone to remember with this and other plant medicines that it is a permission slip that teaches you how to access that state of non-physical essence. Some call it a non-dual consciousness, where you lose your sense of temporal self. And if you can access that state of being, the work is then to learn how to access it without that permission slip of the medicine. It is possible to go beyond your limited sense of your human self without the influence of this or other plants. You can do this with meditation, you can do this with energy work, you can do this with art, you can do this with channeling. And by practicing going into those states without the physical outer catalyst, you will deepen into them and you will become a master of yourself. Whereas some who use only the physical plants and substances become a slave to the substance. And this is not what we encourage. You need to be sovereign in your understanding that you are the one who chooses your state of consciousness. And the plant can catalyze shifts in your state of consciousness, but you are the one making the choice, and you don't need something physical outside of you to make the shift. And if you become reliant on that thing, then you are not really a master. We hope this is clear.
Awesome. And I have another question from Tado. It is, I'm wondering if I could know my guide's name, what is the easiest way to connect with him or her?
One moment. We have a guide for you named NACO. This is a Pleiadian guide that is supporting you in understanding your origin in the stars and experiencing more of the state of unconditional love. Again, they don't use this name in their reality or their world, but it is a name that you can use to attune to their vibration.
That is awesome. There's also 2 more questions in the Zoom. If my higher self has set up challenges or blocks in my path, as you just mentioned, in order to learn certain things, is it possible to realize and embrace those lessons in advance of having to go through the physical experience so you don't have to go through them?
To some extent, yes. Some examples of this are when you recognize recurring themes. You might have a recurring theme of a lack belief when it comes to perhaps a lack of money, a lack of love, a lack of connection, a lack of capability. And if you experience this again and again, you can focus deeply on the lesson that you learned from experiencing the lack and how you are shifting instead to that state of abundance, the state of understanding that you have enough and that you are connected to an infinite source of love. By preparing yourself through integrating lessons that you've already learned and remembering them, then you can use those states or use those lessons to make sure that you don't make the same mistake again. If you have not explored yet a negative belief of that nature, you can't really prepare for it. So you can only prepare yourself for challenges that you've already faced. And actually, so many of the challenges that you endure are ones that loop cyclically. You go through that challenge in one area of life and then another area of life, or to one degree and then to a deeper degree. So recognize the challenges that loop and continue to repeat, and focus deeply on what you've learned and the ways that you can expand into a state of facing that same challenge in a new way.
Thank you. And the other question is, what would be the most typical doubt that can hold us back, and any general recommended permission slips to overcome them?
The most general doubt we could describe as what you just know in your world as imposter syndrome. This is the sense that oneself does not have the knowing or the capability and is in some sense faking it. This is very common when one is in comparison and sees that other people are more capable than themselves. So in order to cope with this, we encourage you to remember that all is one and the one is in all. If somebody demonstrates a gift or capability, it means that that gift and capability is within everyone. If you have a desire to expand your own abilities, you are most certainly capable of doing so. So you have to let go of this comparative way of seeing the world and recognize that your gifts are uniquely your gifts, and they don't need to be as good as other people's gifts. Your way of doing things is unique and different than the way anyone else does things. And that differentiation is a key part of the way that Source expands through every unique individual being a slightly different sort of a person with a slightly different way of doing things, creating a vast field of diversity for there to be endless uniqueness.
Great, thanks. That ends the written questions.
All right.
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, yes.
I would like to hear your definition of logic.
Logic is rational thinking. It is the understanding of cause and effect. It is the mechanical understanding of why things work the way they work in your physical reality.
So it is its purpose is to understand, right?
Yes. Correct. That is its purpose.
Okay, another topic I would like to ask is when I'm tuning to my heart or any other feeling during the meditation or not during the meditation, how do I can feel more energy of it? What do I need to do? Simply said.
Are you bringing your awareness into your body deeply?
Yes.
Are you feeling, for example, the sensation of your breath expanding in your belly, in your rib cage, in your heart?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And are you visualizing light pouring through your body as you're breathing?
Yes.
And you don't feel anything?
Yes. Yes, I feel something, but it's I'm feeling more focused on the thinking about it than just the feeling. That's that's my
Well,
feeling about it.
recognize that when at least you're doing meditations of this nature that we share with you, it's like you're receiving an energy. So think of it less as a doing and more of a receiving. Through the words we are speaking, you are receiving energy and you're being guided to picture or focus on something. Though sometimes what you will experience will be so much different than what comes out of our mouth. You don't need to get it right. You don't need to do it exactly the way we or anyone else says it. Remember, it's about adjusting the permission slip to meet your own specific needs, intentions, and desires. And as you do that, you will have your own experience of the transmission in whatever way it's relevant for you to experience it. So instead of doing the meditation, experience and receive the meditation.
Mm-hmm. Because when I'm tuning to the Earth center, rocks and minerals, and also the galactic center, I'm usually focused more on visualizing this than to the feeling that it brings. So it seems to me very shallow, so to say. Or
well, how do you experience it the most? Do you experience the feeling the most? Do you experience the image the most?
Yes, the image usually.
Then if you experience the image the most, focus there. Because when you allow yourself to go as deep into whichever area of psychic experience you're presently experiencing, all of the other gaps will fill themselves in. Everybody is most particularly focused in one specific area psychically. So if vision is your greatest gift, then let yourself work with that one.
And let to be guided into the images that are coming, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Another topic I would like to ask is about the heart ticks. I was trying to ask last time. It's the small insects that can get into my skin, and they bring some diseases. And I would like to ask how can these diseases can be treated? Do you know what I mean when I say heart ticks?
Yes.
Or Ixodidae?
What kind of disease do they bring? Have you already got this disease?
The translation is the borreliosis or encephalitis. That's
all right.
Common name.
One moment.
The disease is usually, one of these diseases is usually connected with neural system and the brain.
And are you experiencing this disease?
I have some Borrelia virus in my blood, and I don't feel like it is causing me any troubles, but
all right,
it may be hidden.
All right. We can suggest a variety of different tools and permission slips. The first one is breath work to hyperoxygenate your body. When your body is hyperoxygenated through breath work, such as a yogic pranayama, or what you now call Wim Hof breathing, you eradicate many viruses from your body. So many of the viruses cannot live in that hyperoxygenated state, and it increases your nervous system response and helps your nervous system relax. So we would encourage, first and foremost, this breath work. Then we would suggest the use of hot and cold water in a sauna or a bath. Alternating hot and cold water increases your nervous system resilience and strength and can help you relax much deeper. We would then encourage regular exercise, cardiovascular exercise and strength training to help the body get into optimal shape. And of course, eating a toxin-free diet with as many high-frequency, fresh whole foods, fruits, and vegetables. Then we would encourage different potential supportive herbs. Some of these would be astragalus and ashwagandha, and one moment, chilicagua, also known as spilanthes, echinacea. One moment. Black walnut, wormwood, golden seal, but not for too long. Those last ones should be taken in short stints of no more than 3 weeks. These herbs will help to detoxify and strengthen the body. You can also experiment with the animal spirit medicine known as combo, if it comes to you in the appropriate way.
What does it mean, appropriate?
Safe, and with somebody who understands what they are doing.
Okay, thank you. A couple years ago, by use of biofeedback method, I was diagnosed that I may have some worm tape inside my head. Is it possible?
Tapeworm?
Yes.
It is possible.
Okay, and how can it be cured?
Inside of your head, though?
Yes.
We're not sure if that is possible.
actually I seen some pictures on the internet of the surgery of the brain that were removing such a worm.
All right.
But it may be different type of or sizes of this worm. But anyway, after I taken some strong anti-parasitic medicines, chemical medicines, I felt much better.
All right.
So it was.
Then it is most likely that it is gone.
Yes, and can you suggest some natural tapeworm cure?
Black walnut, clove, echinacea, wormwood, spilanthes, golden seal. Yes, many of the herbs we've listed to cure the potential virus are also anti-parasite herbs. There are as well many others, but those are some of the most potent ones. Another one, yes, is known as black cohosh. Anyway, we trust those will be sufficient.
Mhm. Okay, good. And on the energetic level or belief level, the parasites symbolizes some hidden beliefs.
Yes.
Okay, so when I also clean my beliefs, also I will clean my parasites, right?
Yes. The parasites relate to belief systems that make it seem as if you cannot get your energy directly. There may be ways that you allow other people to drain you of energy and that you drain other people of energy. Recognize that parasitism is always symbiotic. So you may have many connections in your life that you take energy from others and they take energy from you in some way. And it is usually not helpful. It is important to recognize that the transparent agreement of exchanging energy in specific ways is always more helpful than stealing energy from others or allowing other people to steal energy from you.
And is it possible that I'm stealing energy from others and I'm not knowing it? Or,
yes.
And how can I get aware of it?
Recognize when you take more than you give. And recognize how that impacts others. And recognize how that leaves you feeling in your own sense. Do you feel empowered? Do you feel as if you are meeting your exchanges in reciprocal ways?
Mm-hmm. So this energy balance should be all the time kept, right?
Yes.
And how to keep it naturally? By following the passion, I would guess.
Yes, following your passion and also paying attention to how it really feels. Do you feel like giving something, but you are blocked in your giving because of fear? Parasitism is always connected with deep fear. You would be more generous and more open and more flowing if you did not fear your lack. So by getting in touch with those beliefs and lack and uprooting them, you will be able to more generously share your energy.
Okay, great. And my last question is...
Sorry, Matej, time is up.
Okay, I was hoping Pleiadians will stop me. Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, thanks to you as well. Something a new person would like to share with us is totally welcome now.
Okay, I mean, if there's no one else, I would love to ask another question, if that's okay.
Let's give it a moment for all the others to potentially ask one question.
Absolutely.
Hello, Pleiadians. I do have a question.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. And thank you again for this transmission. So there's a particular guide that I believe I've encountered in a dream. And I think I was given a name, though I'm not sure. And I've tried in meditation to reconnect with this guide. And I'm not sure if you might have any guidance for me about how I might be able to go about that.
Do you remember the feeling that came about your body when you connected with its guide?
I do. It was, yeah, I do.
So you can reflect on that moment. You can reflect on that sensation in your body in that state. You can bring back any recollection of images or messages that came from the guide and intend to attune to that frequency in meditation by focusing on the specific qualities of your previous experience and bringing them back in through memory. You can reattune to that frequency and let the guide communicate with you once again.
Yes, because in this particular dream, there was a very strong visual, and I remember drawing it in my journal that day, and I still look at it often before meditating when I'm attempting to connect. But again, I don't want, there's a fine line between insistence. I don't want to insist on connecting, but I'm working towards that.
Yes. Well, remain excited, remain open in your expectations, and know that if the guide really wants to present themselves, they will show up. So continue to be persistent in your efforts to create connection and recognize it'll happen in the time that it's meant to be. You might experience many other things in your meditations that help lead you into having a smoother and clearer connection with this guide.
Okay, that makes sense. Because sometimes I've had other types of connections, or sometimes light language will come through, but I don't know if it's that guide or a different guide. And so I'm trying to differentiate the different feelings, although sometimes the excitement and the tingling and the body sensation can be very similar.
Yes, and don't worry about the differentiation, because the most important part is the transmission, is the frequency that you're able to attune to through your connection with your higher self and the guides. So allow the personalities to present themselves in the moments and recognize, yes, there is a large degree of fluidity between these beings. So you may meet both of them at the same time. They might both be present and be fading in and out of connection. You might find that when you open up to your higher self, many different beings surround you in the space, and you are met with a plethora of guides that have that ability to connect. The most important thing is being able to open into the connection and receive the transmission, and understanding who contributed to the transmission will be something that comes with time and practice.
Okay, yes, thank you. I appreciate that guidance and that support. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thanks to you as well.
My love to you, Pleiadian.
Our unconditional love to you as well. So we'd like to reiterate what the channel said, and moving forward with these transmissions, we give everybody an 8-minute opportunity to ask all of their questions. Once and done in these transmissions, this adds for a smoother flow and allows for everybody to have the opportunity to interact, and encourages people to take the self-responsibility to choose to have private sessions with the channel if they find they have deeper needs than can be met in this weekly interaction. So if anybody has not yet asked a question at this time, we won't answer those questions now.
Well, I may have a fleeting question, if I may mind.
Yes, absolutely.
Great, thanks, Council, and thank you for the starting transition, especially on passion. It's one heck of a subject to keep a mind on and push with pleasure and passion. The question, or the, let's say, specific question I have is, I'm noticing because of my childhood and the environment that I have in my childhood, piggybacking off this matrix of media, a tendency of often noticing negative conversations in the mind or negative argumentative preperceptions at times. And that gets to be a bit of an annoying, really annoying state, especially when you're in a fun mode. So I was kind of wondering, what are some of your suggestions to, dismantle this energy type?
Inquire, why is there an argumentative nature? What are you trying to prove, win, or gain?
It's this weird sense of, I don't know, it's kind of like a mix between, again, linking back to the past, this aspect of needing to be right or else parental physical abuse would happen, but also this aspect of fighting back against that very own initial energy that I spoke about.
So, can you recognize that right is relative? This will be the new perspective that will help this end. There are so many ways that you learn in your world that there are absolute truths. This is right and this is wrong. This is good and this is bad. And it goes so far as to think that if somebody is doing one thing right or bad, that right or and good or bad and wrong, that makes that entire person good or right or bad or wrong. So you need to have a more multifaceted way of seeing things. You have to understand that all people are source energy. People can be predominantly positive or predominantly negative, yet at their essence, they are source. People who are predominantly positive still have some negative traits. People who are predominantly negative still have some positive traits. And all of these truths that you see out there are relative truths. They're relative based upon the individual perceiving the truth and in which dimension they inhabit, from what their understanding and beliefs are, and so much more. So rather than look for what is right and what is wrong, imagine that same idea from many perspectives. Imagine that same idea from somebody who lives in the opposite side of the world or has been raised with an entirely different belief system or religion or spirituality. Imagine that same perspective from somebody of a different gender, from a different age, a different level of education. Imagine that same idea from as many perspectives as could possibly exist in your world, and then go to another world. Imagine what that idea is for beings like ourselves. Get as many different angles on it. When you expand your imagination to see the same potential truth from all of the different angles, you get a clear sense of what the objective truth really is. The objective truth is the amalgamation of all of the different angles from which one idea can be viewed. And when you see that, you see it's much more complex, and there is no potential right or wrong there. There's simply many different shades and hues of expression. And as you come to experience this more, there will be less fighting, because there will be an understanding that everything is true from its perspective, and everyone's unique view on this idea or this situation is true from the place that they are seeing it. So instead of fighting against them, you can be open to helping them see the way you see from your perspective, while being open to the way that they see from their perspective, thus contributing to a more universal objective truth, rather than fighting over differences in personal subjective truth.
Wow, that's quite deep. That's interesting because I can start seeing how to practice this and have that enter the mental diet with much more frequency, just shift everything internally.
Yes.
Then also, okay, yeah, that does complete it all. Thank you.
Oh, our thanks to you as well. All right.
Angela, Danielle?
Going once. And twice. All right. Then let us proceed for a final meditation experience, if you would like. Closing your eyes, bringing your awareness inside of your body, deepening and lengthening your breath, filling your lungs to their maximum capacity and holding the breath in for a moment, imagining a smile lighting up from within your heart, sending light to every cell, and gradually exhale slowly. Again, taking this deep, slow, complete breath in and holding the breath, filling your body, oxygenate and light up, and exhale. Bring your focus into your heart center. See a brilliant light growing there. Picture from your heart great roots of light that go down and out through the base of your spine and through your feet into the earth. See those roots wrapping around crystals, minerals, metals, and all of the elements of the planet, going deep down, traveling through the water underground, the magma, the Earth's deep blood, traveling all the way to this solid core crystal of the planet, feeling the roots wrap and coil there, and pulling this deep, vibrating core of the planet into your body. Feel the Earth is vibrating with a frequency that is a sound that travels through all of these layers and into your body. Feel your body start to reverberate with the Earth's hum. And let this energy into your cells. Feel it traveling up through your feet and through the base of your spine, creating an upward moving wave of energy. Allow this energy to move all the way up to the top of your head, creating a deep sense of groundedness and connection with the earth. At the top of your head, picture a brilliant column of light emerge and spread out around your body, surrounding you entirely. See this column of energy travel all the way down to the center of the earth and all the way up to the center of the galaxy. Follow this column up and out through the top of your head and pass out beyond your own sun and moon, traveling rapidly, millions and billions of light years. Rapidly, past stars connected to your solar system, and past them all into the galactic center. Travel through the supermassive black hole into a singular pinpoint of light in its center. Feel that vast singularity open up into an endless field of light. Allow source's light to rapidly travel down through this cosmic pillar of light into your body, like a shower that fills your body with light. seeing the cosmic energy blend with the earth energy, coming down like a shower or waterfall into you that prepares you to go on a visual journey. We invite you to picture yourself in a brilliant field on an extraterrestrial planet. While it is far away, it may appear quite similar to your world. In the center of this field is a sort of windmill device that is shaped in a double helix pattern. This spiraling helix travels up and down like a fan, and the wind blows it so that it is spiraling. At its base, there are channels that travel out to 4 antennas, spaced equidistantly around in a circle formation. The strong wind blows this fan and creates surges of electricity that travel into these columns. This both generates energy and supports this structure so that it may create an interesting and potent experience for those who come to view it. Walk around this device and find yourself at one of these pillars that is at the edge of this circle surrounding the windmill device. Each of the pillars represents one of the 4 directions. Choose whichever one calls to you. You notice a switch on that pillar. There's an invitation for you to put your hand there. As you do, focus your intention into the device, as the device will show you a manifestation of your own energy in this moment. And watch as you place your hand there, surges of electricity start to spread out from this spinning windmill to create visual patterns that you can see between the top of the windmill and all 4 of these poles. You might see faces of different beings present themselves in this electric shimmer of light. Watch your own thought forms appear in these electric patterns of energy. Notice how the energy you put out is being reflected in the visual array that this device is showing you. Feel the device channeling some of that energy into your body, creating a tingling that moves up from your hand and into your heart. You are a being of electricity. Your thoughts are electric. And as you transmit your intentions outward, it creates vast electrical phenomena that affect everything else. The more you expand your own capacity to hold energy and your own flow of integrating higher emotional frequencies, higher quantities of light, the more instantaneously electric information can be absorbed into your being. Give thanks for this vision and for this device and this wondrous experience, and gradually return into the here and now, into the space around you, carrying with you the charge that you picked up from this journey, and the memory of whatever was shown to you here and now. We thank all of you together for co-creating this interaction, and each of you as individuals for showing up in the way that you do and bringing your own intentions into the space. They are a part of the universe's intention for the expansion of your planet. So know that all that exists within you is well and good and important for this process of this particular universe and expanding and becoming higher frequency and clearer embodiment of source. Once again, our thanks to you, and we wish you a pleasant rest of your day then, and hope to see you again for our continued interactions in the ways that you would like. Okay. Hi, everyone.
Thank you, Dante.
You're very welcome.
Hi, thank you, Dante.
Welcome.
Thank you, man.
You're so welcome. How's everybody feeling today?
Is that your cow?
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yay.
Cool. Thanks for being here, everybody. How did we had a lot of people in the Zoom room at one point, I think, no?
Yeah.
10?
I think we went up to 10 or 12.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Super cool. Appreciate everyone for joining, and remember, the book is here if you would like it, and tinyurl.com/starshinebook. You can go on the Amazon page, you can leave a review. The reviews really help, and there's a lot going on in here, so I would really just love to hear what people think about it and how this book impacts you. And yeah, we'll be here again next week, and as well, if you'd like to support these sessions with donations, it's really appreciated. And the information for that is on the contact/book a session tab on the website on that's all I have to say, I guess, really. So yeah, how's everybody?
A lot to integrate, but
A lot
super
to
fun.
I like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Super good.
Also would like to recommend the channeling course. Definitely, people. It's just amazing. Like, there's a lot that comes through. There's a lot with the work that you have as a group, and like, it's just beyond fantastic because it opens up doors to so much more. It's like day and night between being in the matrix and then tapping into that, having that door open, and just bunch of energy. It's amazing.
Thanks, Josh.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, Carol's in the current rendition of the course, and we're having a great time. It's
Yeah.
so powerful what can happen in these weeks. I don't know. It's it's like a 3-month, 4-month program, depending on how many breaks we take. But we won't be signing up the next group till maybe like 3 or 4 months from now. But the sooner people sign up, the sooner it can start. So It's an ongoing enrollment process, and you can also do it one-to-one and just watch the videos at your own pace and do sessions with me and dive deep into it. So whichever way you want to do it, the information on the course is on the website too.
Amazing. Thank you, Dante. Thanks,
You're
everyone.
welcome. Thanks
See you
everybody
soon.
for being here. Yep, hope to see you all next week. Yeah, life is good. Here in Iceland, magic is